them up like we came for the ransom. I'm in the field, 2-minute drill, highlight reel. Let's review, what's the deal, okay? Watching footage going out of control. Buckle up, we got an hour to go, so let's go, that's straight heat. Ain't no chillin' around here, back to back, Nat Chimps, how we feelin' around here? Got my whole squad in the building around here. If my name ain't on it, then I really don't care. Come on. 3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. On the beat, hey. Yeah.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guide Network on a fabulous Monday evening. Feels like it's long time no see. Kirby, I don't know about you, but 6 days off of work, I mean, it feels like an eternity.
Imagine how J-Will feels.
Right? I mean, imagine how vacation J-Will feels. I could not imagine. I'd be itching. Be absolutely itching. Just laid that one up. Appreciate. Sorry, Jay. Well, I feel bad picking on him. I don't feel bad picking on you. I feel bad picking on him. I don't know what that is.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe it's because he's not here.
Well, it's also
is that what it is? He can't defend himself?
His reason for not being here is so blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
And, like, understand. Like, you had a child.
It's so okay.
Yeah.
You know? It's not like he's just messing around.
Right.
You know? Man, we got plenty of news to talk about tonight. We got plenty of notes from the Manning Passing Academy. We're going to play a little game of Would You Rather, perhaps. Maybe, perchance, maybe, don't know. We're also going to talk some fireworks tonight, Kirby. I'm talking Hoosker Do's. I'm talking Hoosker Don'ts. I'm talking cherry bombs if you want some. I might even give you a Nipsey Dazer with or without the scooter stick.
I don't know if people are going to get that reference.
They better. My chat better get that one.
That movie's like 30 years old.
I do not care. If anybody in my chat has not seen Joe Dirt, I give you the opportunity to leave right now and go watch it and then come back and watch us on rewatch. I mean, dang. Talking about you going to stand here watching a YouTube channel telling me you've never seen Joe Dirt. Get up out of here. But nah, we're going to talk about some fireworks tonight, as you can see by the title of today's show. We're also going to be making college football playoff guarantees. I'm talking locks tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking way too many locks. I was writing them down. I'm like, I mean, it's not even July.
Yeah.
How we gonna make you a playoff team? But yeah, there are some out there, believe it or not, that we feel like can absolutely be on lock alert. Do we got some audio video sync still on delay? That's
yeah, I don't know
says.
what that is, or
I have no idea what to do about that either, boys and girls. Nah, we're good. Mine's looking good over here. Yeah, make sure you're liking. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're telling a friend if you haven't already. All right, if you haven't told a friend about this place, you're a bad friend, simply put. All right, I need you to be a better friend to your friends, not to me. You're a great friend to me by just being here. I need you to be a better friend to your friends by telling them about this place. All right, so make sure you're doing that. Kirby, while we were gone, we had a lot of news. Obviously, you take 6 days off, some stuff going to happen. That's what happens. So a lot of news to talk about tonight. I think we should probably start with Chaz Coleman, who has been medically disqualified from Tennessee.
Yeah, I saw different terms: medically disqualified, medically dismissed. Either way, they're no longer together.
All right, so I think it's obviously a very, very sad story, in my opinion. Chaz Coleman, for those of you who don't know, was a top 300 player coming out of high school in the state of Ohio, chose Penn State over in-state school Ohio State, and it sounded like he wasn't exactly the easiest to deal with while he was at Penn State. For some reason, Jim Knowles and staff or whoever he brought over with him to Tennessee decided, yeah, let's sign up for this again. And not only that, there's very, very conflicting reports as to how much money they actually gave him. Some reports saying $2 million. Some sources at Tennessee told me he's not seen more than $30,000 off of that, so-called NIL deal, and it was nowhere near worth $2 million. So take it for what you want. Nonetheless, I think it's a human interest story. It's a mental health story, and it's worth talking about. Transfers to Tennessee and is now not going to play this year, it seems. Kirby, we already talked about one great philosopher in Joe Dierte. I got another great philosophizer I want to speak about tonight, and quote, take care of your body, take care of your chicken, and take care of your mentals.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what's going on right here. We definitely did not take care of our body. We saw the photo on Instagram of him money spreading, standing out front of a car. Look like we ain't lifted a weight in about 18 months. We definitely did not take care of our chicken. I mean, we could have made up to $2 million reportedly, according to CBS Sports. I don't believe that number, but you might at home. We definitely didn't take care of our chicken, and it's mostly because it sounds like we weren't right in the mental space here. It was definitely the mentals. Prayers to the young man. Anybody going through mental health issues, obviously that is something not to be joked about, something to be attacked and handled at a really, sensitive way. So, yeah, I will say this, though. Tennessee has a rare number of these. Not mental health stories, but that was supposed to be one of our guys, and we look up mid-July and we don't have him. Obviously, everybody knows about Nico. I am leaving. And everybody knows about Boo Carter, who last year, Boo Carter going into the season for me was one of the best returning starters in the SEC. And it just disappeared, it seems like, during his time out there. And now he's a Colorado Buffalo, but it didn't go necessarily so well last year out there at Tennessee. And now we have this with Chaz Coleman. Those were supposed to be three of their better football players, and they didn't really do all that great for him.
By the way, we ran out of disk space again, so podcasters are not going to be
Podcast getting cut. That's what happens when Jay Will's on vacation. I'll take care of it. I'll download it off YouTube tomorrow morning. We'll have it up by 10 a.m. tomorrow. I promise you that.
But yeah, to get back to this Chaz Coleman thing, and like you said, nothing to say negative about what he's going through. I think that's a very unfortunate situation, whatever it is, whatever the details are. They've been pretty hard to come by from everything we've seen, so again, prayers to him. Hope he's doing well. I think, like you're right, though, on the flip side of this, if you want to look at this under the Josh Heupel lens and go, man, this was supposed to be the guy, the transfer that was going to build a lot of momentum coming into 2026. Tennessee, by all accounts, had a relatively down year. I mean, you go back and you look at all of the postseason transfer hauls and everyone ranking them. Chaz Coleman's pretty high up there. He's far and away Tennessee's biggest acquisition. He's one of the bigger ones named in the offseason. So the fact that he's not going to be on the roster this year is a big loss to Tennessee. And it's kind of the second year in a row this has happened where we get to the offseason, we're excited about this one player, and then before the season even starts, they're not even on the roster. So it's not a great look for Heupel. Look,
I get the Nico story. I understand. I would have cut bait with that too if he's holding you hostage, if he's walking in day of spring game talking about you going to do this or that, or I'm going to get up, then just go. Just get up and go, buddy. Like I would have been in the same kind of limelight there. I do think there needs to be a self-assessment up there at Tennessee about players that we are going after and players that we are signing. And honestly, like we have these same conversations here in this area with the state of Georgia and the University of Georgia with obviously things that they've had off the field. There's much worse things that could happen here with these types of football players apart from I want more money, I'm holding you hostage, or I am, aloof from the football program, which is what Coleman was, completely aloof from the football program, as was Carter, by the way. Like, Boo Carter last summer was doing rap videos, skipping summer workouts, just messing off. Like, he was just out here not doing what he's supposed to do. And that to me is, I think, honestly, that's a sign of the times, too. Like, you give these kids $200,000 and they think they're richer than they've ever been in their life, because they are. But they think they're forever rich. Because their bank account says that they're uber rich right now, but that doesn't mean you're going to be forever rich. I think a lot of this is a sign of the times more so than anything else. Apart from, this seems like a very singular issue with the mental health stuff with Chaz Coleman. I hope it's not like, stuff that starts to develop in young men 20 to 21. You know what I mean? I hope it's not that.
Yeah, no, I hope
I hope we're good. I hope we spend 12 months getting right, taking care of our mentals, taking care of our body, and then coming back to play football maybe in the future.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I hope that both parties can have positive experiences getting away from this. All I'm saying is the optics on it right now aren't great for Josh Heupel. And again, this is not me saying that Tennessee is a locker room issue or there's bad things going on, but when stuff like this happens and the trajectory of your program seems to be stagnating or somewhat going down from where it was at its peak, these types of stories tend to bother fans more. These types of stories don't tend to give you as much goodwill with your fan base. If Tennessee was a playoff team last year and went, in a deep run, this isn't really that big of a deal. Like, it's a big story, yeah, but it's not something where we're looking around going, hey, what's wrong with Josh Heupel? Is something bad going on here? The fact that I think Tennessee has not had the success that it would like to, or that fan base expects, or that brand kind of demands, is why this is such a big deal for Josh Heupel.
Absolutely. Kirby, you told me before the show that the CFL sent a strongly worded letter to Brendan Sorsby. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was more of a
Or
statement.
is it direct? Direct is what you said.
It was direct.
Yeah,
like,
it was direct.
the NFL kind of did this entire two-page baptism, like, you messed up. The CFL kind of followed suit. So for those who don't know, the CFL is not granting Brendan Sorsby the right to play with them in the 2026 season. So he's basically SOL at this point. He will not play anywhere or for anyone in 2026 unless some Arena Football League or something like that picks him up. I don't think that'll happen. But here was the CFL's quote. Upholding the integrity of the league and ensuring fair competition are the paramount to the CFL. The allegations involving Brendan Sorsby are serious and concerning. At this time, the CFL will not register a contract for him, and no team will be permitted to add him to its negotiation list.
At the end of the letter, did they say, sorry about that?
Is that a Canada thing?
Yeah.
I don't believe they did, no. But that would be perfectly Canadian.
Here's what I wonder. He's a 2022 high school graduate, is Brendan Sorsby. You got 5 to play 5 now in 2027.
Correct.
Is your ban from this permanent? So here's what I wonder. I wonder if Brendan Sorsby would have just stood up and said, you know what? I effed up, guys. I messed up big time. I'm sorry. I'm going to go to rehab. I'm going to come back to Texas Tech. I'm going to be a student athlete that doesn't play. I'm going to root on my teammates. I'm going to continue my rehab process. I'm going to submit to all of the technological watch stuff that they're going to do. And in fact, I'm going to become a spokesman, not a victim. I'm going to become a spokesperson upon this issue. I'm going to go to the local high schools. I'm going to go to the colleges that will have me, and I will speak out about this, right? About, hey, recognizing gambling addiction within yourself, calling the hotline, going to get help, whatever it may be, and definitely staying away from betting on my own team. And then maybe applying for reinstatement in 2027. Do you think if we would have chose that path, that maybe there's a light at the end of this tunnel, but instead we did so much ducking of consequences? I thought that, to me, was the most pivotal part of that NFL document that they sent, where it basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, Bubba, you've ducked all consequences, so we're going to give it to you now. We're going to give it to you now. And I wonder if this would have just went over smoother, Kirby, if he just stood up, recognized what he did, took accountability for it, and then moved forward.
Yeah, I mean,
or is it a forever ban? Is college football out of the picture entirely?
He was permanent. His
permanently banned. Eligibility was cooked.
I mean, maybe you can try to get reinstated, like you said, show you have gone through this. I don't know, but the language that was used by the NCAA was permanently ineligible due to gambling. So it seemed like that avenue had kind of closed, but I would agree with you. The path that you just described was much better and much more pertinent to not only increasing goodwill, but maybe hopefully having a light of the tunnel moment where you can still continue your career and put all that behind you. Because now, like you said, he's essentially been blackballed by every major organization that holds major football competitions, to the point where I don't know what 2027 is going to look like for him. I mean, you kind of kicked and screamed. You're right. You kicked and screamed and fought all this in court to the point where now no one wants to touch you. I don't know what that's going to look like. I can't say that had he gone the other route, it would have made things a lot easier. The easiest route would have been don't gamble so much, but we all know that probably was not a possibility at the time for him. So it's unfortunate.
Don't gamble on your team. Just don't do that. And now if you're a college athlete, don't gamble on college athletics at all. Is that a new rule?
I think it is. I
know everybody, including Texas Tech, voted for that rule to pass.
Right.
So, yeah, just don't do any of that stuff.
Well, and
you ought to be all right.
I feel weird putting it this way. I would be shocked if Brendan Sorsby was the first ever college football player to put a bet on his own team or to gamble.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard certain instances. There have been murmurings. There's murmurings about certain quarterbacks that are in the league right now having sports gambling accounts and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go so deep into this was, like you said, the metaphor that we use all the time. You were doing 130 and a 75.
Yeah.
Like the amount of accounts he had and what hoops he jumped through to do this and the amount of bets were being placed in his name, that's what rang all the red flags for you. So I'm not saying gamble on sports. Don't do it at all. But if you're asking to get caught, do what he did.
Yeah. And if you're asking to maybe not have a chance moving forward, then do what he did after he got caught.
Yeah, I mean, it's
you know what I mean?
It's
like
the perfect.
I think that the mistake is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like at every turn, his camp, and for that matter, him, just compounded it every single time to the point where even the CFL's like, no, thank you.
Yeah, like
that would have been I don't know much. I ain't going to sit here and act like I know a lot about the Canadian Football League, but that would have probably been their best player in that league.
He would have been.
Is that fair?
Most notable.
Yeah.
He would have been the most
definitely
followed, the most notable, one of the most.
Raise your hand in the chat if you watched a CFL game in the last, I don't know, how long? I ain't watched a CFL game in a fat minute.
It's been a while.
I might have turned that on.
Yeah.
You know, just to kind of see what was all the hoopla about. What was Cody Campbell willing to fight Big 12 about over, you know?
But also, like, there, and we don't even have to use Brendan Sorsby. There are examples of what to do when you mess up off the field and you suffer a punishment. There has never been really an example that I can think of off the top of my head where you go through lawsuits and all of these things to try to avoid the punishment and just come out unscathed. These two situations are not similar in any way. What Michael Vick did after his situation and how he went through the ASPCA and he started all of these things and he went on basically a major apology tour trying to get back in the grades. He still hasn't won over a bunch of people and he probably never will, but at the same point, he put enough goodwill out there and proved that he was apologetic for what he did. He felt remorse. You can't take the route of, if Michael Vick came out and tried to sue the NFL and all these things, it would have never worked. I would have never had a second stint. So the point is, don't fight this to the point where you're going to create detriment to your career in the future even more.
Kirby, I need you to go ahead and get the quotes ready from Football's First Family.
Yes.
While I set this up for everybody. For those of you who don't know, the Manning Passing Academy is going on right about now. And there's a lot of college quarterbacks out there, a lot of elite college quarterbacks out there, including one Arch Manning. Arch's grandfather, Archie, apparently didn't think it was fair that people thought Arch was going to be good. So go ahead and read me these quotes, and I got some thoughts. Go ahead.
So the quote was, this is from Archie Manning, the Ole Miss legend, grandfather of Arch Manning. I was kind of disappointed in a lot of people. The whole thing. They kind of crowned Arch before he'd ever played, and I just didn't think that was fair. Yeah, it was a little tough start. He played a great team. And anyway, but I've never been more proud of anyone in my life with the way Arch battled through what he had to go through last year and the way he played, the last 8 or 9 games of the season.
Kirby, here's my problem. I wonder if Archie felt disappointed that people were anointing Arch last year when he was in a Red Bull commercial or when he got a Red Bull deal. Or was he disappointed when EA Sports gave him his own commercial with his own father? Or was he disappointed when Panini gave him a big deal? Or was he disappointed when Warby Parker, the glasses company, in the commercial that we all had to watch every Saturday?
Oh, God.
Was he disappointed in that? Was he disappointed in the Raising Cane's ad that I think he was in? Was he disappointed in all of that anointing of his grandchild? Or just the expectations that come from the anointing of his grandchild? You cannot, on one hand, reap all the benefits of your last name being Manning and then go, man, it sure is sad that people thought I was going to be good. That's not fair. That's not how that works. You know what I mean? Like, you are the highest paid player in college football by a wide margin because of who you are. So you're disappointed in us, Bubba. You're disappointed in us because we were like, hey, that guy's going to be pretty good, huh? That's a little wild to me.
Yeah,
I think that's a little crazy.
It's definitely you can't have your cake and eat it too moment. And like, to his credit, it felt like at some points he was doing this. Remember, he opted out of the EA Sports video game last year because he wanted to earn the recognition and all that. And it was kind of like, okay, really good. 2 weeks later, he was doing a commercial with it. So you're right. I think that, and I went on a rant during the season about this, of how the media has unfairly built up this kid to be a superhuman god, to where if he isn't exactly what they build him up to be, it's an unfair comparison. I agree with what Archie's saying, but at the same point, it can't lean into that of, hey, I'm a Manning, I'm going to be, I'm the perceived savior of football, the football messiah, all these things, if you don't want to deal with those expectations. Like, and again, to Archie's credit, I doubt that if he never did a Warby Parker commercial, if he was never on Raise, if he never did all those ads, he still wouldn't be built up like that. He probably would be.
Yeah.
But at the same point, to lean into it and then go, whoa, where did all these expectations come from? I don't get it. Well, your face was kind of plastered on every screen for the 3 months leading up to the season. So I get both sides of it.
I do feel like the word choice on this could have been so much better. And
Yeah.
I know he's getting asked a bunch of questions at his own event, but Archie's pretty well media trained, I would imagine, at this point in his life.
Yeah.
I sure would hope so. The idea that you said you're disappointed in people, you're just disappointed in people because they thought that your grandson was going to be really good. That was weird. I could have just been like, I think the quote should have just been, I thought, maybe the expectations were a little high early on, and he didn't play that great, and I was really proud of the way he bounced back. Boom, end of quote.
Yeah,
That could have been end of quote, and wouldn't have had some fathead on here going, hey, man, Warby Parker commercials were all over the place. You got millions from Red Bull. You and Jeremiah Smith, right, sitting right next to each other, and you wonder why people are like, those might be the two best players in college football. From a casual standpoint, that's an easy connection to make. I see this guy all over my television. His last name is Manning. He should be good. Oh, by the way, he plays at Texas. It wasn't like he was playing at Louisiana Monroe. You know what I mean? Like, this is a big-time football player at a big-time football program that didn't play so great the first 6 weeks. And, yeah, it got much, much, much better. That probably could have been the quote instead of, I'm disappointed in people.
Yeah, and this is a basic language and communications thing. All you have to do, all you have to do is change the phrasing, I'm disappointed in people, to I was disappointed in the situation. Because at that point, the situation's no one's fault. It's just an accumulation of everything. If you say I was disappointed in people, you're coming out and saying basically, or implying that the outside world is what built Arch Manning up. He didn't want this. We didn't want this for him. It's everyone else's fault. I'm disappointed in them. I'm disappointed in the people who built him up. If you just say I'm disappointed in the situation, but yeah, it's unfortunate that he got built up to what he was and was expected to deliver on some astronomical expectations.
Let's stay in Red River territory, Kirby, with some more news. As John Mateer had a great weekend this weekend.
Yeah, he was all
John
over my
Mateer
timeline.
threw it well.
He did.
Well enough to you said did he get Heisman bump?
I think, yeah. There's
In the notes, it's like people were talking Heisman.
So I don't know, the odds have changed.
Okay.
The pundits on Twitter and John Mateer's Heisman dark horse, those people have given him a significant bump.
By the way, if you don't know that John Mateer, dark horse is like first year starter out at like Mizzou. You know what I mean? Like, that might be like Anthony Calandria. I'm down for listening to, might be a dark horse Heisman candidate. I don't know if a 10-2 quarterback from last year that played in the playoffs, that started every game, that's coming back for his fourth year starting in college football, I don't know if that guy could ever be labeled a quote-unquote dark horse.
In fairness, he did not start every game because he had the
that's right.
Michael Hawkins started.
Which is what most of this was about this weekend. He had lots of comments about his dedication to enhancing his mechanics. And Kirby, I I guess I've done this to myself. We talk so much about quarterback play and we break down so much film that when the word mechanics get brought up, I get tagged left and right all over social media nowadays. And look, I will be the first person to say, yes, I know a lot of ball. Yes, I watch a lot of film. Yes, I am a ball knower. But I ain't Quincy Avery. I ain't Jordan Palmer. I ain't the Christensen guy. I'm not some mechanical guru. I know when it looks wrong, and I know when it looks crazy. That's when I know it. And it looked crazy a lot of the time last year. And I'm sure some of it had to do with his thumb, which come to find out was broke all year long. And he felt like it was causing mechanical issues. But here's my problem. The mechanics look great. They look awesome. I wasn't opposed to the way he threw the football when he was at Washington State. I didn't hate it. We called him from the ear mateer, which is okay. You can be a rotational thrower. In fact, I prefer that type of throwing as opposed to linear throwing. That's the extent of my mechanical talk right now today. However, none of what he does in shorts and a t-shirt, Oklahoma fans listening to me today, do I care about. I don't care about any of that stuff. All I care about, and please, I don't have a better term, so please be careful with me here. All I care about this year is when the bullets actually start flying, do we have the thought process of a crackhead back there every once in a while? Because sometimes we just lose our mind. We just go crazy, and we uncoil ourselves, and our feet come out of the ground like we're a corkscrew trying to jump up out of the turf. Like, that's what I'm concerned, not where it comes out, where the slot is, and maybe that's what they're mechanically talking about. Mm-hmm. But, dude, when you're taking a 3-step drop in shorts and T-shirts, your feet and your mechanics better look clean. They always have. I would imagine even when your thumb was a problem last year, I'm sure you looked like a normal person when throwing the football. My problem is when we're running mesh and instead of keeping your feet in the ground, you want to slide this way and do one of those, and our feet come out of the ground and we jump throw, and then we dirt the ball or we miss it arm side by 3 yards. That's what I care about. And he did that stuff healthy. You know what I mean? Like, I even talked about it before his injury. I said, there's a tweet out there saying, I don't care. I don't care if he's mechanically a nut job. I don't care if he loses his mind every once. He's just a damn good football player. Those are my tweets right after the Michigan game. And then we get hurt, and it all kind of starts to twirl on us and tumble down, because when our thumb is bad and our lower body is all over the place, the ball's going to be all over the place. So, yeah, our thumb might be healthy this year, but if our lower body does not remain consistent and constant and disciplined, then we're probably going to have the same issues we've had for the last 3 years as a football player. So that's all I care about. Like, buddy, you can work with the biomechanic guy all you want without bullets flying. But when they start flying, are we going to keep our feet in the ground? That's all I care about.
Yeah, and this was what kind of bothered me about this whole situation, because On3 did an entire article on this about talking about how he had changed his mechanics. And I have a quote from here. Quote, "Last year, Mateer slipped into a sidearm release when he returned less than 3 weeks after having surgery on his broken thumb. Mateer said the injury made it difficult to grip the ball because of how it limited how much pressure he could apply with only one finger that goes on the other side of the ball. He tried to compensate, affecting his mechanics. It's like throwing a baseball with 2 fingers," he said. And that's what bothers me about this, is that
these people not watch him at Washington State.
That's what I was going to say. We have a film study done when we watched him in Washington State going to Oklahoma. I mean, the from the ear Mateer nickname long precedes the thumb injury.
It preceded SEC Media Day last year.
And this is what bothers me a bit about what goes on in the offseason, especially with quarterbacks, where we pit injuries and we look at everything and go, oh, you know, things weren't as great as they could have been last year because, he was injured, and now he's healthy and everything's changed. Like they did some of this with Arch as well, where all of a sudden this nagging injury that bothered him throughout the entire season is why everything didn't go exactly as planned. We just talked about it. A thumb injury does not have anything to do with your lower body mechanics. A thumb injury does not have anything to do with you poorly making decisions, which at times he did last year. We felt like he rushed certain things. Mm-hmm. The pick 6 against Alabama is a perfect example of this. So, again, I'm sure that having that thumb injury hindered John Mateer's performance in some way. I don't think it's what was holding him back from being a Heisman finalist. And I don't think it's what stopped Oklahoma from competing in a national championship. And same with Arch Manning with this foot injury thing, where all of a sudden, he was dealing with a foot injury all of last year, Steve Sarkisian says. A foot injury does not force you to stare a slant route in the face and absolutely nail a Florida linebacker. Like, stuff like that is not injury related. There are certain deficiencies that happen, and I kind of hate how everything gets built up in the offseason of, they weren't everything we thought they were last year because they were injured. So that's my little rant on it.
Chat's a little testy today. You guys getting after it in the chat today.
Oh, after each other?
Yeah, looks like it.
Good.
Looks like, hey, let's we're all part of familia around here. Let's be cordial in the chat every once in a while. Throw it at me. If you want to throw it at anybody, throw it at me. Try not to throw it at each other. Nah, go ahead. Do what you want.
Yeah,
Just
have fun.
Yeah, have fun. Get after it. Yeah, the right foot coming completely out of the ground and ending up in front of our left foot, that's what I'm more concerned about with Mateer. And to be quite honest, all the clips I got tagged in, there was still some of it. He was still out here on shorts and a T-shirt spinning out. And I don't think you should be spinning out.
Yeah, and I mean,
CJ Carr won the week, I was told, though.
Yeah, I heard CJ Carr looked really. I mean, I was surprised by how many quarterbacks. I know a lot of quarterbacks come to the Manning passing academy. I didn't realize. I mean, that was basically every Power 4 major starter there. So
yeah, I think there was a couple of notable omissions. Not off the top of my
right.
head.
I mean,
I can't quite remember.
It's irrelevant. But no, you're right. Like, and I've kind of given up, and I think we should just at this point give up on trying to educate the masses of like, hey, what your quarterback does in shorts and a T-shirt in the summer does not mean that it's going to translate to a fall Saturday when there are 11 other dudes running around in pads and all. And it's like, we don't have to give this speech numerous times. Like, Georgia fans were doing it with Gunner. Like, everyone was doing it where, oh, man, he looks good this year. Like, Joe Milton was the epitome of this, of like, we love what we see in the shorts.
Shout out to Chat. Chat, you will notice that I rarely ever wear red around here, especially dark maroon. Reason being, you remember that movie Spy Kids?
Yeah, dude, I love Spy Kids.
You remember the
thumbs?
The thumbs?
Ah.
Yeah, I don't wear those colors because I know what I look like. I'm very well aware of what I got going on. The thumb look happened as my face started to thin, I think. When I was round-faced, I didn't get that as much. Like super round-faced, I just got, look at this fatty. Now I get, buddy looks like a thumb. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know? It's okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think you look like a thumb.
I favor a thumb every once in a while.
I think if you had facial hair, it would significantly. But then I fight off different allegations because of my facial hair. So.
I can't grow facial hair. It doesn't happen for me.
You gotta try.
I've tried. It comes in all spacious and almost like hair of your nether region. It doesn't look like facial hair. It's a problem. It just looks like wispy, like fuzz on my face.
Like a leprechaun beard.
Yeah, no, not even that. I can't even go there. So no, there's no facial hair growth coming from yours truly ever in my career. So there's that. You want to make some guarantees?
Let's make some guarantees.
It's really early to do this, both in the show and in the season, because it is June 29th. We're not even into July yet, but let's lock it in. I'm talking about some guarantees. These teams are guaranteed to be in the college football playoff. How do you want to do this? Because I think there's a couple of absolute layups.
Yeah.
You know, like Notre Dame is a layup.
Notre Dame
has no excuse to be out of the college football playoff this year. Zero.
Notre Dame not making the college football playoff requires them to lose to Miami, which is a very possible thing, but to also lose to some unranked or some outmatched opponent that you should absolutely have no business losing to.
Just for those of you who haven't read this schedule, they play a neutral site against Wisconsin, Rice, Michigan State. They go to Purdue. Tough, scrappy Purdue team. They go to North Carolina. They play Stanford at home. They play BYU at BYU. Tough. Probably only going to be favored by a touchdown. Then they play Navy in a neutral site game. Then they host Miami. Then they host Boston College. Then they host SMU. Then they go to Syracuse, which I think's like a 2-hour drive.
It's not far.
Yeah, it's not far
And it's in a dome.
from those guys. So, yeah, that's the schedule. No excuses to be anything other than 11-1, in my opinion.
Correct.
So they are a layup. They should be a lock.
Notre Dame is the guarantee to be in the college football playoff this year. And correct me if I'm wrong. The referendum of understanding takes place this year. So if they're a top 12 team, they're not going to get bounced anyways. So they are a college football playoff team, basically, unless some catastrophic failure happens. And then at that point, we're going to have conversations about Marcus Freeman.
And by the way, if they lose to BYU and Miami, they will be out of the playoffs. There is no way they deserve to make the college football playoff if they lose their only 2 meaningful games. There's just no way. It happened to them last year, and they were sitting at home. I think it will probably be the same exact thing this year if they lose that football game, or both those football games. So, yeah, Notre Dame is 100% a lock. I feel like Notre Dame fans listening to this today will be like, yep, you're right. We better make the damn playoff this year.
Agreed.
This is the last year of C.J. Carr, and you got to squeeze it. You got to absolutely squeeze everything that is that quarterback. I think he's going to be the number 1 quarterback off the board, unless Arch goes nuts, which if Arch goes nuts, it's guaranteed 1. But I think C.J. Carr is going to throw for close to 4,000 yards this year. So there's that. If we're in games long enough,
yeah,
like, dude, they're going to be up 35-7 come midway through the third quarter in almost all of those games.
Hopefully.
You would imagine. All right, who else is a lock? I think another one is on their schedule. I think Miami should be a lock for the college football playoff.
So I want to put Miami there, but here's what's stopping me. Miami's kind of been the best team in the ACC for 2 years now.
Are you playing slip-up theory?
I mean, it's kind of it's got substance.
It's sound. It's sound in practice.
2 years in a row right now. Yeah. And, like, looking back at the 2025 schedule for Miami, like, they're not a playoff team if things don't shake the way they do. They beat Notre Dame in week 1. That was an incredible win. That was their best win of the regular season. They absolutely deserve all the credit for that. They got the benefit of playing South Florida and Florida State when they were both ranked inside the top 20. That did a lot of heavy lifting for their strength of schedule, all of that. Mm-hmm. Again, they found a way to go 10-2 and miss the conference championship once again. They've had a number 1 overall quarterback, and they had a fantastic team last year, a national championship competing team that still finds ways to go 10-2. Just on the theory and just on the assumption that if Miami goes 10-2 this season, there's not enough meat on that schedule to justify them getting in. Yeah, you can beat a Clemson team, which we assume will be ranked. You can beat Notre Dame. But other than that, maybe Virginia Tech's ranked at the end of the year. But I don't see enough top 25 wins on here for a 10-2 Miami to get in once again without a conference championship.
Kirby, can we assume Clemson's going to be ranked?
Yeah.
You think so?
Well,
because that means they have to not get their doors blown off by LSU at LSU, and they can't lose to Cal on the road.
Okay, I mean, if we don't want to say Clemson, like then at that point it gets even harder. Like Miami's strength of schedule is not strong enough to justify them getting in with another 10-2. I mean, maybe we get a repeat of last year where you beat Notre Dame and you get the nod over them, but I don't feel comfortable putting Miami as a guarantee. However, I'm most confident that Miami will be the team from the ACC to represent the college football playoff.
So I'm going to put them in there. I'm going to put them as a lock. Like they have.
Okay. I'll let you do that. I'm gonna hold off on that. I mean, I don't feel confident about anyone from the ACC.
Whose schedule's worse? Chat's debating it right now. Do you think Notre Dame's schedule, which I just read off to you, is worse than this one? At Stanford, FAMU, at Wake, Central Michigan, at Clemson, Florida State, Pitt, at UNC, at Notre Dame, Duke, Virginia Tech, Boston College.
I'm going to say that Notre Dame's schedule is a little bit worse because your hardest game you get to play at home, and there's a lot of like this isn't a great like Florida State
worse in the sense that it's easier. It's like it's a bad schedule.
Correct. Like Florida State has a lot of issues. North Carolina has a lot of issues. Duke, Virginia, like all those teams have a lot of issues. They're going to have talented players. They're going to have good coaches on them. Notre Dame doesn't have as many of that going on, in my opinion.
By the way, I'm of the belief that these Notre Dame schedules are only going to get worse in perpetuity.
Most likely, yeah.
Like, it's going to be ACC and a bunch of teams that aren't in the Big Two. You know what I mean? Like, Big Ten and SEC schools have no willingness or want to play these teams or to play Notre Dame. There's just why. You know what I mean? Like, we went through it with USC the other day. Like, why would you add Notre Dame onto that schedule if you don't have to? They're going to play 5 top 15 teams this year, USC is. And Notre Dame's going to play 1, maybe 2, depending on where BYU's at come mid-October. So, yeah, I think these Notre Dame schedules are only going to get easier, which, you know what, if you're them, who cares? Because I don't care if Notre Dame plays 12 versions of Navy. If they're 12-0 at the end of the year, every media member that votes for the AP and every college football playoff committee member is going to be like, yeah, they're one of the top 12 teams. We might rank them 12th, but they're one of them, and they're going to get gifted a way to the college football playoff. So if I'm Notre Dame, I would do the same thing because they ain't going to keep me out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's brand awareness type stuff there. How about no Louisville on that Miami schedule? That's pretty ideal for those guys.
For sure.
That's been a battle for those guys the last couple of years.
A team I have is guaranteed. And this one, they certainly have a challenging road to get there. But I kind of view it as like when you have just a really, really good market in something, it's going to take pure disaster for it to collapse. It's Ohio State. Yeah, they have to travel to Texas. Yeah, they're at Indiana. They play Indiana. Oregon's a tough game. USC might not be an easy out for them this year. They have a lot of tough games on the schedule. But Ohio State is one of these teams, in my opinion, that you can kind of, unless disaster happens, unless something awful happens, Ryan Day, Ohio State, that brand has earned my trust to say they're a guarantee lock. Like a 10-2 Ohio State is a college football playoff team in the 12-team format.
You want a one-game schedule? I got a one-game schedule.
Let's hear it.
It's Texas Tech. Texas Tech has a one-game schedule. And I know they just lost their starting quarterback. And I know the one game that I would be concerned about if I were a Red Raider fan does happen week 3. And we may not even know who our starting quarterback is. But you have a one-game schedule. It's Abilene Christian at Oregon State, Houston, week 3. Tough. Going to be tough. I think Houston's a good football team. Sam Houston at Colorado, Arizona State, at Cincy, Arizona, West Virginia, at Oklahoma State, at Baylor, TCU. No Utah. We know what the Big 12 is. Like, there's just no BYU on that schedule. It's just, man, every time I look at that schedule, I'm like, we are not playing the same sport. And I know I talk about this all the time on this channel, but we got to do something about this scheduling differences. And it goes for the Big Ten now, too. Like, the Big Ten, because of the way the Indianas of the world have dedicated themselves to football, because Oregon's move over into that conference, because USC is still a formidable football program, there are really, really tough schedules all over the Big Ten, all over. There ain't one in the Big 12. You won't find it. No. So, like, this is very, very I don't even know if it's fixable, but it needs to get fixed somehow, some way. Because, and you'll say, well, it doesn't really matter because they play at the end. Yeah, it does, because the 12 games that they play during the regular season, that's the resume that we determine who actually gets in. And we've watched it year over year over year. Those yahoos that sit in those meetings, they're just wins and loss rankings. That's all they are. It's the group of undefeateds, the group of 1 losses, the group of 2 losses. And then maybe they shake things up at the end of the season to ultimately determine who the 12 is. But normally, it's just, hey, these guys won a lot of games. And these games are not the same. I think we got to do something about that. Now, they claim that strength of schedule is going to actually matter this year. But what strength of schedule metric are you using? Because every Big Ten fan listening to me right now tells me ESPN's a bunch of biased hacks with their strength of schedule. So it's crazy. That's the way where we're at right now in college football, and I think we're going to remain that way for quite a bit. I have Texas Tech. Do you have Texas Tech?
I have Texas Tech.
Lock them in. Got to be. All right, so Notre Dame, Miami, and Texas Tech are our teams. Now, I have 3 Big Ten teams that I'm writing down right now as locks.
And Ohio State is a lock as well.
So you put them down. They're in mine. with Indiana and Oregon. I think it was Josh Pate that read off the stat the other day. Indiana, Oregon, and Ohio State are 48-1 against Big Ten teams the last 3 years. 48-1.
Wow.
The one is obvious. It was Michigan beating Ohio State, and they went on to go in the national title. These three football teams, in my opinion,
48-3 then, because Indiana beat Oregon.
No. Against other teams,
okay.
not named
Okay.
those three.
My bad.
Not against themselves.
Got it.
Obviously, they're competitive against one another, but against other teams in the conference, they are
Gotcha.
48-1. Michigan being the only team to beat Ohio State in the last 3 years within that conference, not named Indiana or Ohio State, or excuse me, Indiana or Oregon. I have them written down. I think Oregon's 11-1, Indiana's 11-1, and Ohio State's 10-2.
Yeah, I mean, the Oregon schedule, they're one of
Maybe
my
11-1 Ohio State, depending on how you shake it out. I mean,
Right.
those are going to be the three playoff teams in this conference, in my opinion.
Agreed. I have Oregon as one as well, just because simply it's a fairly manageable schedule. You've got one of the better returning quarterbacks. Like, it's Boise State, Oklahoma State, Portland State, at USC, UCLA, Nebraska, Illinois, at Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Washington. It's very, very 10-2able, which gets you in the college football playoff nowadays. And from what we've seen, Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks tend to perform really well in the regular season. They went 12-0 in 2024. They were 11-1 in 2025. Like, they put up good work. The college football playoff performances need some work, but they get to the dance. They're good at doing that.
Which brings us to the Southeastern Conference, Kirby.
I'll go
right,
and
unless you
spoil it.
have another lock elsewhere. Do you have another
No.
lock outside of the Big Ten, outside of Texas Tech, and outside of Miami and Notre Dame?
No.
Okay, so
And I only have one SEC lock, by the way.
yeah, I mean, I don't have three teams, and you're gonna get three. That's the guarantee. I can
Yeah.
lock right now that the SEC is gonna at least get three. No different than I just told you a couple minutes ago that the Big Ten is gonna get at least three. I know who the three are in the Big Ten. I think I have 7 candidates for the 3 spots in the SEC right now.
Correct.
Which maybe that indicates they might get 4 like they did last year. Who knows? Here are the candidates, and stop me if I miss somebody or tell me if I need to add them on. Texas, Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, A&M, and Alabama. Those are the 7 teams in this conference that I think going into the year we could say maybe they make a playoff. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel comfortable about locking any of them just because I don't feel comfortable about locking any of them. But I have said for years on this network, I think the floor, as long as Kirby Smart is at the University of Georgia, is 10-2.
Correct.
And that floor gets you in the college football playoff.
Yeah, and to the credit as well, as far as Georgia football schedules go, this is not the most grueling. Yeah, you have trips to Alabama and Ole Miss. Those are going to be tough outs. Those are going to be really tough games. But outside of that, Florida might be your toughest matchup other than those two. Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oklahoma and Florida are your tough matchups. I would be very, very surprised if Georgia goes 9-3 this year. And it's kind of what I talked about with Ohio State. When you have a program, when you have a coaching staff that just repeatedly, at worst, is giving you 10-2, they earn the right to be guarantees for this. I think that Georgia has a easier schedule than most in the SEC this year. Mm-hmm. I think that they will once again find a way, even if it's not as good as they hope they are, they will find a way to be 10-2 and competing in the college football playoff.
If I had to do it today, and I had to be as right as humanly possible with these locks, we'd cut it off right now.
Yeah, that's what I did.
That would be the end of the list.
That's what I did, by the way.
That would be the end of the list. But I'm going to try more so to predict the other 2 teams out of the SEC. Texas, you better. You better be a playoff team this year. And honestly, you just got done talking about scheduling. Alabama's schedule is as quote-unquote manageable as a 9-game SEC schedule will get, in my opinion. Do you feel this way about Alabama's schedule too?
Yeah, it's a fairly manageable schedule for Alabama. I didn't think that there was anything super tough about it.
Let me read it out to the audience while we're sitting here.
I've got
okay?
it if you want me to read
All
it.
right, go ahead. You can
It's
do it.
East Carolina, Kentucky, Florida State, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Georgia, Tennessee, A&M, LSU, Vanderbilt, Chattanooga, Auburn. So, yeah, there's some tough matchups there. The Georgia, Tennessee, A&M, LSU stretch that you go on, you're probably going to lose a game or two there. That's just how it is. That's SEC football for you. But the first 5 games of the season, you should be 5-0, and you should close out the last 3 with wins. You're going to be a better team than Vanderbilt. Chattanooga is Chattanooga. Auburn is going to be – you're going to be a better team than them. That's in Bryant-Denny. Alabama should close the season 3-0 and should start 5-0. It's that in-between that's going to be tough for them.
I think they should be 10-2. I think
Agreed.
it should be reasonable to expect them to be 10-2 in year 3 of Kalen DeBoer.
Agreed, but the reason I did not put them as a guarantee.
Quarterback play?
Not only that, Kalen DeBoer has 2 years in Alabama football, and if you even want to include the losses, there are multiple games where Alabama comes out and they are the better football team, they are the higher ranked football team, they are the favored team, and they look flat. Sometimes they lose, like Vanderbilt and Florida State and Oklahoma. Sometimes they win and it's ugly like they did against LSU last year, but there are way too many times each season where a Kalen DeBoer football team comes out and it's like, they didn't look great today. With a first-year quarterback, like Ty Simpson fixed a lot of those mistakes for them. I don't know if Keelan Russell or Austin Mack are going to be able to do that. So I'm not putting them as a guarantee. However, I agree. They should be 10-2. I would not be shocked at all if they're a college football playoff team.
Fun fact, Christian Kirby. Last year, Texas A&M, their schedule got crapped on last year because LSU flamed out and Missouri flamed out. But they played 4 ranked opponents in the regular season. They might play more than that this year. They got at LSU, at Alabama, at Oklahoma, and Texas. There's your 4 that I think when they play them, they will be top 15, maybe top 20 football teams. That's about what they had last year. But in hindsight, this schedule, apart from the Notre Dame win, everyone crapped on. They're like, hey, you beat a bunch of Auburn, Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas, Missouri, South Carolina. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of crapped on that schedule late last year. I think there was even a stat where I don't think they beat a team with a winning record inside the conference last year. Is that correct? I don't believe
they did either, no.
Yeah, so that's not going to happen this year. If y'all going 11-1 this year, you earned it, and people can't scoff at the schedule.
Oh, definitely. And I don't think and I was one of the bigger doubters of A&M last year. I wasn't scoffing because of their schedule. I was just scoffing because of the logo and because of what happens with that program. They've consistently tripped up towards the end of the year.
You think they'll like that comment more than scoffing at the schedule?
Sorry, guys, I'm being honest. And not to get too bogged down in the A&M ways, but Texas A&M has been very, very habitual of starting out 6-0, 7-0, 8-0, and then just completely folding towards the end of the year. Yeah. And they made the college football playoff last year. Credit to them. We started seeing some cracks in the foundation. Getting down 30 points to South Carolina in the first half is like, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. The loss to Texas was tough, but that's a rival. But either way, if Texas A&M goes 11-1 with that schedule this year, absolutely. They are more than guaranteed to be college football. They'll probably be the number 1 seed in the SEC.
I have a question for you, Kirby. Who gets in at 9-3? Texas or Ohio State?
Who won the game? Who won that head-to-head?
Let's call it Texas by a late field goal at home. Last second. The game's tight the entire time.
So if Texas,
it's really a coin flip that's won by home field advantage.
So if Texas goes 9-3 with that schedule and a win over Ohio State, that means they've lost to 2 other teams that they probably shouldn't have.
I shouldn't have phrased it that way. One of these teams goes 9-3, not both. But in both scenarios, but they both do. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Texas goes 9-3 with a loss to Ohio State, or Ohio State goes 9-3 with a loss to Texas. Which team is most likely to get into the college football playoff?
You're not going to like my answer, and I can't tell you. The answer is I don't know, because I would have to see what the other 11 – like Texas – people say Texas was left out of the college football playoff because they went 9-3 last year, and that's partially true. Texas was also left out of the college football playoff last year because they looked horrible against Florida, against Mississippi State, against Kentucky, against bad football teams. They did not look the part, aside from the record not being that. If you go Ohio State, and they say they go 9-3 this year, they lose to Texas, they lose to Oregon, they lose to Michigan. But everyone else, they're smoking. They're killing everyone else. They're winning those games. That team deserves more of a shot than I would say last year's Texas would. So it honestly all depends. Like, we trash ESPN all the time, and we trash these pundits for saying, oh, you're only looking at the record. I'm not going to look at the record and say who should be in and who shouldn't. I need to see what each individual game looks like. So it's kind of an unfair and cheeky answer. I get it, but the answer is I don't know. I need to see what the other 11 games are.
Fans are so funny, man. They hear what they want to hear. I get an Oklahoma fan on my Twitter mentions I'll save everyone some time. Quote, I'm not a mechanics guy, but his mechanics suck, is basically Brooks's in-depth knowledge and analysis on this. That's exactly what I said. That's verbatim what I said, my man. Mm-hmm. There's no winning sometimes with some of these folks. I think some guys and gals just want you to sit here and go, yay, everything's great. Everybody's going to win a national title. Everybody's awesome. I think that's what some people want. I don't know if this is going to be the place for that.
I mean, dude, this is the business we signed up for. If you're not talking glowingly about specific teams, that specific fan base is going to be mad at you. And if you talk too glowingly about everyone, the whole entire fan base is going to be mad at you. So, I mean, you're right. There is no win-win here, but we hope that those who watch us understand that our opinions and our takes come from a fairly educated standpoint, and that if it's not something you like, you don't have to agree with it. I mean, I don't think there's an Oklahoma fan out here who should watch today and go, man, Brooks Austin said John Mateer's mechanics are still messed up. I don't believe in him now. Like, that's not what I'm saying. We're offering our opinions. If you want to hear them, come watch the show.
I'll summarize it for you. How he throws the football from his arm slot has nothing to do with the variance and outcomes last year. It had everything to do with his lower body and live bullets. That's what I said. So fix that, and everything will be good. I also went on to say that when he was healthy, none of it mattered because he was such a great football player. He just made plays. He was their best rushing threat last year. He was their best explosive last year. He just found ways to make plays, despite the fact that, yeah, there were some things going on with the lower body. Anyways, we're good there. Should we talk fireworks?
Let's talk some fireworks.
You want to talk Husker Do's?
This feels like very timely given the holiday.
You want to talk Husker Don'ts?
Yes.
Okay. Who's a Husker Do?
I'm going to go with Let's
explain. By the way, these are college football. Go ahead.
Let's explain the segment a little better.
Go ahead.
Our audience hasn't seen Joe Dirt, the iconic hit film that came out 30 years ago, Joe Dirt.
By the way, did it come out 30 years ago?
I think it's a late 90s film.
Wow.
I mean, it's more than the first time I watched Joe Dirt was on a VHS tape. That's how old it is. So, either way, with the 4th of July coming up this Saturday,
2001.
Okay, so
that's 25 years ago.
Over 25 years.
Wow. All right, go ahead.
With the 4th of July coming up this Saturday and the birthday of our great nation, the United States of America, one of the main things that tends to be seen on this holiday is fireworks. They're big, explosive, they're exciting. So we figured, what are some college football games this season that would most resemble a fireworks show, where it's just explosion after explosion? It's exciting. You're on the edge of your seat the entire time, and when it's over, you go, man, I sure enjoyed that.
There's one premier nomination for this.
Oh, yes.
And it's LSU at Ole Miss.
LSU at Ole Miss is the epitome of, I must see this. This might have actual explosions.
Yeah.
I hope not. Pray to God not.
If Ole Miss loses that game, there will be things burned.
Oh, my God, yes.
Whether it be in the parking lot or the stadium.
We're talking batteries thrown. There will be projectiles. There will be explosions. There will be literal fireworks in this game. I frankly would not want to go to it, just for the sheer, I wouldn't want to be on the sideline for it.
You know?
Being a media member, dude, you were there at Texas, Georgia in 24.
Yeah.
That was ooh, this is getting a little hairy. Could you imagine that,
Okay.
except the entire stadium's doing that?
So here's the problem. At Ole Miss, there is no place to hide.
Right.
That student section wall is like the size of Auburn's wall, where there really isn't one there. If you wanted to hop over that sucker, you got it, Bubba. The only thing stopping you is a potential arrest. But if you and the homies go, they can't get you all. You know? At Texas, there was a place to hide. That wall is huge over there. I mean, it's a good 10 feet, 12 feet. So you jump up off that thing, you're going to hurt yourself. But it is literally a big show, like leg over the rope type stuff at Ole Miss. It is very, very easy to get on that field.
So, yeah, the epitome of a fireworks game is LSU at Ole Miss this year. What other ones do you have?
LSU at Texas.
That's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a really, really good football game. A lot of points, I would imagine, in that football game.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Levitt versus Arch Manning. That'll be cool. Are you buying Sam Levitt stock?
I mean, there'll be
sidebar
explosives.
there, yeah.
There'll be a fireworks show.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to make plays this year. I think he's also going to make a lot of bad plays.
Yeah, I think he's, from what I've heard, it's still kind of that right now at LSU. Still trying to do some hero ball type stuff. And it's like, hey, man, you're not at Arizona State anymore. This isn't the Big 12. We're actually going to have to play within the system. Also, by the way, our system's really good. You should probably just listen, not try to do your own thing. So, yeah, I think there's going to be some growing pains there.
I've got a nomination.
By the way, that's Texas at LSU. My bad.
I've got a nomination for one that's going to be exciting, in my opinion.
What's up?
USC plays the Penn State Cyclones this year. That game will probably be
You had me for a second. I had to put my brain around that one. Like, what?
I mean, it might as well be called that. But no, those two iconic brands, a first-year head coach, it's probably going to be a whiteout game. You would have to imagine it's going to be at a point in the season where Big Ten championships or college football playoff standings is on the line. That's going to be an explosive game. It's an offense, and by the way, that Lincoln Riley that has kind of been known for creating explosives, being exciting. I think that will be a very exciting Big Ten football game.
How many Iowa State football players do you think transferred to Penn State?
45.
That's a bit high. 24.
Ah.
24 of their 105. So a quarter of their roster almost is Iowa State, including their quarterback, offensive line, tight end, linebacker. It's a lot. It's a lot of Cyclones. Oh, my God, it's a lot of Cyclones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they signed, I think, 12 high school football players. So it's about 35 new names on the roster for Penn State this year. So that'll be interesting. All right. Miami at Notre Dame, obviously.
Definitely going to be some fireworks.
Probably going to be one of the hardest credential attempts we make this year. But
Yeah.
We're going to get that done. I think we're going to be in South Bend that weekend.
I mean,
That'll be interesting.
if anyone, you will definitely be going.
Yeah.
I know.
I definitely is a stretch still, even to this day.
If there's anyone going,
Yes.
you
If
will
anyone's
be.
going, it'll be me. And that, I hope we get that done. That'll be so awesome. So, yeah. That's going to be a damn good football game up there.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Oregon-Ohio State has always provided some really big matchups, some really big fireworks. The 2024 regular season matchup was great. The Rose Bowl wasn't as great, but it was exciting. There's a lot happening, a lot of points being scored. So I'm going to go ahead and say that will also be a firework game.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame at BYU has a chance to get kind of freaky. BYU at night, I feel like, is a slept-on trap game.
Very
for a
scenic
lot of
environment.
people. Yeah, very scenic. But I do think people often forget, like, Kalani Sitake's a damn good football coach.
Great football coach.
So, and Bear Bachmeier, year 2. Mm-hmm. So that'll be interesting.
This game provided us fireworks twice last season. I would not be surprised if it does it once more in Oxford. Georgia at Ole Miss will be a game full of fireworks. I mean, the first game, more than 80 combined points. Ole Miss opened with 5 straight touchdown drives. Georgia didn't go a single offensive drive without scoring points. We know what the Sugar Bowl was, a back-and-forth affair. Dare I say the best college football playoff game of that series. So, going to be some fireworks in Oxford, I'm assuming.
I got a mouthful of ice. So please keep talking.
I did not realize that. Oh, let's see. I think that's all. LSU at Ole Miss, obvious. Ohio State at Indiana is one that I kind of put out there for a interesting feeler. I think these are two defensive-led football teams. I think that it might not be the explosive firework 45-30 final that we see. However, I do think this will be a back-and-forth game that's exciting. More exciting than the Big Ten championship was. I don't think calling 13-10 is a explosive fireworks-worthy game.
Offense scores points. Defense prevents points. Teams create points, Kirby.
I like that.
That's right. That's what those two teams are about. You can say they're defensive-led football teams, but they got good offenses too.
Great.
I think they're just well-balanced football teams is what they got going on up there.
There's no denying that 13-10 is a defensive affair, though.
No doubt. No doubt. Sneaky submission here as we transition into the local hour. Kirby Smart's going to open up a can on Ryan Silverfield, isn't he? A respectable Kirby Smart can.
Kirby Smart.
Hey, don't be talking about my football team like that when you're the Memphis head football coach. Smacking for Ryan Silverfield coming.
Kirby Smart's going to give Arkansas a 38-10 victory and have the starters sitting by like mid through the fourth quarter. And it's going to be very much a business as usual thing. I think the fans are going to play that up as, oh, you don't talk about us. But I don't think this is going to be he's taking timeouts in the last drive and going for two. Like Kirby Smart does not do that. So there might be fireworks, but I think that'll just because Arkansas will be the outmatched team.
You don't think there's going to be a Kirby Smart walking across the field, shaking the hand of Ryan Silverfield, saying, "We stand on business, coach"?
I really hope there isn't. I would be very disappointed if there was.
Kirby, let's talk that dog for an hour.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back for another loaded local hour here on the Film Guy Network. We got some news. Gunner opted out of the college football 27 football game. Georgia misses a few more on the recruiting trail. We're going to talk about that. Georgia and Ohio State haven't done it yet. They haven't done what? Don't worry about it. We're going to talk about it tonight. Aaron Murray gets a promotion. We're going to talk about that tonight. Don't count out the mailman.
Ever.
The mailman out here giving it a run for a first rounder. And Joel Klatt's a hater. What else is new?
Yeah, he's not buying it.
Yeah, probably not. Hey, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, telling a friend. And I want to tell you guys where we should start. I think we should start with golf today.
Oh,
Kirby.
no.
Let's start with golf.
This is something I have no expertise on.
Today, we talk golf. That's what we do. Every summer, the last 3 years, I've had the opportunity, I would say honor, in playing in Aaron Murray's charity golf event. He puts it on for ESP, which stands for Extra Special People. It's an organization that specializes in transformative experiences for people with disabilities and their family. It's not only an extremely good cause, but I think Aaron does an exceptionally great job of obviously working his butt off on this event every year, but also raising attention and funds for this cause. Every dollar donated helps create a transformative experience for our special people in our lives. I need you to do me a favor today. When you're done watching this, I need you to go to espyoundme.org. That's espyoundme.org. And go check out the cause. Go check out what they're doing. I thought it was so powerful today to hear, and I hear it every year, but it always impacts me. The people who, like the parents that take care of their children that have certain disabilities or something. It's a rather exhaustive life, I would imagine. And ESP does a great job of hosting some of those kids so parents can take vacations. Right, there were 150 campers up here in Northeast Georgia right now, of families with disabilities, and they take them in at ESP for the week, and they allow their parents to go on vacation. Something that would never happen for those parents unless an organization like ESP existed. Again, Extra Special People. All right, go to espyoundme.org today. Okay, run over there and see about that cause. All right. And if you're interested, maybe see about trying to get into this golf tournament next year. I mean, for you dog fans listening today, I mean, the poor sorry sacks that had to play with me, some of them got to play with Gunnar Stockton today. Some of them got to play with Ethan Barbour, who, by the way, is a stick. I'm talking about Ethan Barbour is a damn scratch golfer. Some of them got to play with Jake Fromm today. My man Brendan Douglas was out there playing today. Keith Marshall, DJ Shockley. Like, it is a dog event that also goes to a tremendous cause. I thought Mark Rick's comments today when he said the opening prayer were tremendous. He said that when he was at Georgia, he made it mandatory, even though it was against the rule and illegal, mandatory that every single player on his team participate in some type of charity event every year, some type of giving back to those less fortunate, right? In some type of way or form or facet. And he said he did it mandatorily just so they could get a taste, just so they could feel what it feels like to help someone else, and then hopefully get kind of addicted to that feeling, the feeling of helping others. And said he was extremely proud of Aaron. I'm extremely proud of what Aaron Murray does in that event every single year. And me and Aaron are just buddies. It ain't like I was his college football coach. It's something awesome to watch every single year. So I wanted to take time out today at the front of this local hour and talk about that. Run over there, check out those guys. Again, that's ESPUandme.org. All right, let's talk about some news, Kirby. I guess it's news that Gunnar Stockton's not in the college football playoff college football game. Sorry.
This has been such a weird thing for me to get information on because, of course, it's a pressing topic right now. The college football EA game is going to release July 9th, so, of course, social medias and a lot of accounts are dropping new videos and new news regarding it. Report came out over the weekend that Gunnar Stockton was not in the initial rankings, which basically means that he's not in the game. And then another report came that he had opted out of being in the game. And, of course, that was the report for a while. Then there are some conflicting reports that he didn't opt out specifically. He just missed the window to opt in, so that's why he's not in the game. But either way, it seems like when the game launches, Georgia's starting quarterback will not be a playable character for the Georgia team. So I know that
they're not QB14 in him?
I don't think so. I think that's too close to the likeness. I think that's why the game got shut down in the first place, because it was too resemblance of it. Like, if you're not in the game, you're not in the game. So some news for those who care about the college football video game. It was an interesting thing with the modern era of the way video games works and how updates are things. Like, this happened with Arch last year, too, where he opted out and then he opted back in. Like, I would be shocked if at some point he wasn't in the video game, but I did feel like it was kind of worth noting that he's not expected to be in the launch right now.
You know what I think is the dumbest thing in the entire world? Now, there's some dumb things out here. But you know what the dumbest thing in college football world today is to me?
What's that?
People getting up in arms about ratings on video games. I think it's the dumbest thing. The idea that we're like, upset that my quarterback's rated lower than so-and-so's, or my tight end's not rated as high as so-and-so's. People giving a single solitary damn about that is goofy to me, or like making it correlative to actual reality. That is insane to me.
That's insane. Yeah.
I also think it's insane that some of these schools are using this as like promotional additives to their program. Like, and I'm not taking shots here. You all did it, but one that sticks out in my mind is like Clemson tweeted out Sammy Brown's overall rating and was like, Clemson, where the great players go to get developed. Why not talk about the 5 top 90 picks you had last year? I don't know. Why don't you talk about some real stuff? Why don't you talk about, I don't know, his all-ACC awards that he's got? What are we doing tweeting out ratings of a video game? Who cares? I know we spent a lot of time talking about this last year, because it hadn't come out in 15 years or however long it's been.
This was 2 years ago we did that.
It's been that long? I know we talked about this 2 years ago quite a bit because we were all excited about the idea that college football video games coming back. This is goofy. I find it really, really weird that people get up in arms about this stuff. So,
yeah, I mean, the ratings thing certainly is wild. It is a bummer that if you buy the game at launch, you probably won't be able to use Gunnar Stockton. Like, Gunnar Stockton is a very likable player. Gunnar Stockton is the type of player that you would do a My Career on, or a Campus Legends mode, I think is what it's called nowadays. So, yeah, it sucks. But, again, not pressing news, not massive news, not anything to be, like, super up in arms about.
I think I'd pay twice the sticker value for College Football 27 for a College Football 27 that is just a straight-up reprint of EA's College Football 14, the last one.
NCAA 14.
Yeah, I would pay.
Oh, you don't have to do that. Just download a roster.
No. I want the way it played. I want the way it feels. I want the road to glory. I want that.
That's what I'm saying. You can download rosters to NCAA 14.
Yeah, but I don't have a software that like my
You don't have
PlayStation
to.
3 is cooked.
You don't have to. You
I can get it on Xbox right now.
If you have it online, just go down, share raw. Like you can watch a YouTube tutorial on this.
Well,
It's very easy to do. My friends did this all through college. We'd update the rosters every year. You don't even need Xbox Live. You just need the internet.
Shocker, I know. This guy hating on video games. I play them. I do. I'm just not going to get all upset because Lawson Lucky's not in the top 15 tight ends. Like, who cares? I was trying to do a little thought experiment just to debunk all of this. I'm pretty sure there's a direct correlation to pure raw stat production and overall ratings. I can almost guarantee it. Like if you take the top tight ends on that game and then go look at how many yards they all had, it's almost ranked right down to the T. It's like they just pumped it into an AI bot and it was like, hey, who's a good tight end? Well, this so-and-so had 700 yards last year, so he must be great. The next guy had 500 yards, so he must be second. Like you can kind of go right down the line with just sheer statistical production. You can see why my brain tripped out about that one. So yeah, there's that. You want a recruiting update?
Let's get a recruiting update. This feels more pressing.
You know what breaks my heart every time I hear it?
What's that?
Yeah, I don't even care about recruiting anymore. Just let me show up, or just tell me when they get there and tell me when the games start, and then I'll start caring. And that right there is the sentiment of about 75% of you guys listening today. You've been so burnt out on this stuff.
Yeah.
You just don't care anymore. One of the guys I was playing with today was like, I don't pay attention to it. I don't listen. I don't read. I don't care until August. And then they start playing football. And that's what I care about. I care about the football. I don't care about all this, who's NIL, transfer portal. I don't care about none of this stuff anymore. And again, that's about 75% of you. And then the other 25%, you only care when you miss. And when you miss, blow it up. It's all what's going on. Oh, my God, what's happening? And you missed a couple times this weekend. Marcus Fakatu committed to Ohio State. And
I believe it's pronounced Fakatua.
Marcus Fakatua committed to Ohio State. You came in second. Jaden Apratio Bailey, the safety out of Prattville, Alabama, committed to Clemson. You finished second. So a couple more misses in this class that's going on. Here's my only take. You ready?
Ooh, it's your only one.
Yep. My only take is actually a question. Kirby, who do you think the best freshman was last year for the University of Georgia? If you just had to guess.
Probably either Donnie or Juan.
Right.
One of those two.
Donnie Glover or Juan Gaston. Juan Gaston, top 100 football player, blue chipper, beat Oregon out for him. In-state, great football player.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. Highly recruited. I would argue emphatically, I don't think I said that word right. I would argue strongly that it wasn't Juan Gaston. It was clearly Donnie Glover. Donald Glover was your best freshman last year, I would say by a wide margin. Juan Gaston didn't really start playing full-time in the rotation until about midway through the season. Donnie Glover was out there week 2. Donnie Glover got so good by the end of the year that Micah Morris, the 3-year starter and 5th-round draft pick, was sitting on the bench in the SEC championship game. Go watch it. Go watch it. Midway through the first quarter, when Micah Morris when Juan Gaston needs to play, do you know who came off the field? It wasn't number 63. It was number 56. Okay? Donald Glover was an elite football player. He was an all-SEC freshman football player last year. A 3-star. Okay? A 3-star. This year, we already know who your best freshman is going to be. It's going to be Boogie Green or Zakai Helton. It's going to be one of those two. And guess what? Both of those football players, when they committed to your university, some of you were the same people that show up in my mentions talk about 3-star you when we announce yet another 3-star committed to the University of Georgia. Your best freshmen were not highly touted by the industry. All right? So I don't think you need to be getting all up in arms about none of this stuff anymore. And I don't want to take shots. I'll just tell you this. The recruiting industry as a whole, the people placing evaluations on all these players, they are overwhelmed. They are drinking from a fire hose at all times. There are 30,000 football players across this country that are good. There's 10,000 of them that might be able to play Division I football in high school. Guess who can't get it right? The industry. There is no way. There is no way the industry can get it right. So, am I coping? Yeah, I'm helping you cope a little bit. But here's what I'm saying. So what? So what? You're going to have to go find value. They're pretty good at finding value. I don't know if y'all been paying attention. They're damn good at finding value. And guess what? The value finding goes all the way back before NIL. Jordan Davis, 3-star. Ladd McConkey, 3-star. Y'all know the names. We've done this over and over and over and over again. Is Marcus Fakatua really, really good? Yes. Is Jaden Precio-Bailey really, really good? Yes. Are the 2 football players that they're going to take in spite of those potentially maybe your next freshman all-SEC player? I would say the odds are pretty high. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth noting that if there's any program that is situated to be all right if they miss on the 4 and 5 stars and go out and find value and find the 3 stars that ultimately become stars, you would say Kirby Smart and Georgia are probably the most positioned to do that. I do think it is worth being alarmed and being kind of worried at the point of, yeah, things have not gone their way this class in a lot of recruitments, and things have not been successful in a lot of ways. They're not ranked where they want to be in a lot of instances. I think that they've missed out on a lot of guys that, 1, they thought they had, and 2, that they really felt like they needed to get. So,
and we've talked about that. Look, and especially if you're subscribed to our Patreon service, like, guys, they felt like they were in good spots with a lot of these guys, and they've been wrong. So now, where is that wrongness coming from? I'm probably getting outbid by some guys, but you're never getting outbid by Clemson. I'm going to tell you that right now. So Clemson's, for a lack of a better term, stuffed you in a locker several times this year. And I think I have an answer, not one I'm willing to give out publicly on national airways like this, but our Patreon audience has heard it. And guess what? When I told them that, they thought it was cope too. They thought it was a not so good enough excuse for as to why you're losing some of these battles. I will say this. Y'all have gone into more head-to-head recruiting battles with Clemson in this one particular year than I think you have in the last 4 combined.
Makes sense.
Like, this is the most you've gone head-to-head with Clemson since pre-NIL era, in my opinion. And I've covered this since 2019. And you're not winning a lot of those right now. There's a reason, I think.
Yeah, and I think that it's worth noting, like, the being upset and saying things need to get better on the recruiting trail is not an overstatement. It's not complaining. It's not being irrational. There's a lot of stuff that probably needs to change if Georgia wants to continue its dominance and its greatness through the next decade or however long Kirby Smart decides to coach. I agree with that. And I also see the side of like, hey, yeah, they're not landing the 5 and 4 star, and frankly, you don't want to land those guys in some instances because they are demanding high prices, because like we've talked about numerous times, they're not the same prospects that they once were. Like being a 5-star today is a different meaning than it was a decade ago, because with a 5-star comes the checks and all of the instances where NIL becomes a factor and all these other things that we've talked about, how we've both agreed. If you're 17, 18 years old and someone's offering you millions of dollars, you're not going to work as hard. You're not going to be as dedicated to your craft. So yes, the value is there in 3 stars. That said, it needs to get better. There's no denying that. Mm-hmm. So because I think that if you do basically sit back and accept this, we're just going to live off finding and developing the 3-star talents and finding the value there, will be fine. That is where you start getting the and I know we've fought these allegations as well, but Kirby's becoming a Dabo-esque, where our in-house metrics of these recruits are good. Our belief in these players is good, even though they might not be as talented as the industry says they are. Mm. That didn't work out for Clemson. I think we can all agree that has not been successful. It seems to be working out for Georgia. However, I would rather you sign the 4 and 5-star guys as well. So as someone who's been a fan, as someone who's paid attention to recruiting for a long time and kind of been on the inside track for this for the last few years, it's a problem. There's no denying that. It's not something that's going to hinder you from being a great program over the next 5 years. I think there's something that needs to be addressed within the next 2 years, but I don't think that Georgia's slow. Georgia's going to fall behind in a Clemson way.
Here's what I'll say I don't think will ever happen. I don't think Kirby Smart would ever get into a thing like the Jalen Brewster thing going on right now. I don't think he'll do it. I don't think Kirby wants to deal with what's going on with Texas and Eastern Royal right now.
No.
He won't. He'll just say, okay, buddy, you can go somewhere else. And is that Dabo-like, or is that just Kirby being Kirby?
That's Kirby being Kirby.
You know what I mean?
And I mean, like,
is that to the detriment of his football program?
I don't think so.
I'm going to tell you what, Kirby. In 2026, George Pickens would not be at the University of Georgia.
Probably not, no.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like that wouldn't happen.
It's a different era.
Yeah, it's a totally different era.
I mean, and that's completely worth noting, and you're right. Like, the money being funneled into these recruits and the money that's accessible is great. We've talked about it. It changes a lot of things. It changes the work ethics of these kids. It changes the drive. It changes the motivations of a lot of these kids. We've talked about ad nauseum. You're right. Being able to make $1 million by putting pen to paper, it changes, and that's something that Georgia's going to address differently. I agree with that. That said, finding ways to still get the right 4 and 5 stars in the room, which, by the way, it seems like they're doing that. Keemon Spell seems to have shut down his commitment. Mm-hmm. Guys like Jaden Wade, fingers crossed, this entire time have been very faithful to Georgia. They have not shown any red flags of like, hey, this guy is a jump risk or a flight risk. So they're still doing the right things. I think it is frustrating to go from 3-4 years ago, we were consistently a top 3 class, and now we're going to have to scratch and claw to be inside the top 10 this year. I get it. I understand the frustration.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's an obvious, as an outsider, look, I haven't gotten any of this stuff confirmed. Every time I ask about it, they try to act like it's not a thing, or they move me off topic and go elsewhere, which is probably an indication of where we're at. You know what I mean? We're probably in the right area with these thoughts. The loss on the digital brands group is clear to me, right? Like, I don't know. Clear is not the right word. It is clearly a factor, in my opinion, the fact that maybe their collective lost a bunch of money on a stock. Also, Stephen Drummond was like the most important hire in the NIL space they ever made, and they haven't replaced him to this day. He works for the Atlanta Falcons now. He's the right-hand man of Matt Ryan. He was the right-hand man of your head football coach. And he did a great job of not just, making sure the funds were brought in, but, negotiating as well. I think Drummond did a really, really good job of, hey, guy left here on a commit high. That's awesome. We better make sure a week from now his price didn't go up. And if it did, we better either figure out how to get it back down, or we better go make it happen. And I think that right there is obviously missing from this group. And the final point is they just don't care to spend it like that. I told you guys a couple weeks ago, they'll never do what Texas A&M's doing right now. They'll never do it.
No.
They're not going to sign 7 5-stars.
Probably not, no.
That's going to cost $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to do it. So I don't know. The question I have is, like, how are these other schools doing it somehow? You know what I mean? That's what you need to figure out. I will say this: maybe Gory isn't what we thought. You know what I mean? Or maybe they need to get better at it. I don't know. So there's an answer, and I think, like we settled on a couple weeks ago, it's all of these. It's all of them. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's also
and by the way, Bama's having these same problems.
Yeah. I mean, and again, like this goes back to the holistic talk of the sport of college football has an issue to where certain schools with just much larger budgets can kind of muscle their way towards the top. There needs to be some cap. It's a take we've given all the time. There needs to be some spending limits so that this can actually be enforced. Mm-hmm. Again, we'll talk this in circles if we need, all night long if we were allowed to, but something has to get better on the recruiting trail. I don't think that there's any denying that. I don't think that there's any ignoring it. At the same point, it's not the end of the world right now.
You want to play Guess That Dog, Kirby?
Sure, let's play Guess That Dog.
I got a very, very good Guess That Dog segment right here. I got 2 of them for you. We'll space them out. You ready?
Let's hear it.
I was a 2017 signee.
2017 signee. Okay.
I was a 3-star from the state of Georgia.
3-star from the state of Georgia.
I was a state champion track guy.
Keep going.
I had no hands at all. I mean, brick for hands, despite the fact that I led the team in interceptions my last year in college.
Oh, I know who this is. This is Eric Stokes.
This is indeed Eric Stokes. I was a 3-star out of high school, and I was a first-round draft pick. Eric Stokes.
Mm-hmm.
Atta boy. You beat the chat right there, so good job.
Yeah,
they're on a little bit of a delay, but yeah, you beat the chat there.
The track kind of gave it away for me because I actually DM'd Eric Stokes when I was in high school talking. Just that's how I knew he was a track star.
You just DMing Eric Stokes back and forth?
Yeah, we like talk. I mean, it was very, very.
Why?
Good. I was actually trying to get some speed tips from him.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Have you ever gone back and read them?
It's been years.
Also, did he follow you or was his Twitter DMs just open?
It was Instagram DMs at the time.
Uh-huh.
But this was like before he had even committed.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, Eric Stokes on that one. You want another one?
Let's do another one.
I was a 4-star offensive lineman.
Okay.
No class here for you.
All right.
I made starts everywhere but center.
Everywhere but center. Is this Kirby Smart era?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
They're all Kirby's. I mean, you know me. They're all Kirby Smart era.
Everywhere but center.
This ought to give it away. This would give it away for me. I played in 67 games in my college career.
Is this Xavier Truss?
This is indeed Xavier Truss.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I had 2 more for you. I was second team All-SEC in 2024, and this would have just been like, if you didn't get it, this would be me hitting you over the head with a rubber mallet. I'm from Rhode Island.
Dude, I do not keep up.
You didn't know that?
You're talking about
Xavier
Truss.
You didn't know Xavier Truss is from Rhode Island?
I thought we were doing a new
player.
player.
No. He's from Rhode Island.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I thought we were doing another player. I was like, Rhode Island doesn't really help me. I would have gotten the 64 starts and start everywhere but center before I got the Rhode Island thing.
Yeah, he's got to be the best football player to ever come out of Rhode Island. Got to be. I probably should have added in. I played a little bit nose over toes. That would have gotten Jonathan. Jonathan would be like, it's got to be Xavier. So, yeah. All right, that's my Guess the Dog segment. Hey, Kirby, Aaron Murray got a promotion.
Yeah, man, I'm excited.
This is big-time stuff for the Merman.
The Merman. I don't know if
I don't like that one.
I don't know if
I know he's not going to like that one. We had our first competition today.
I saw the driving.
Man wants smoke. We're going to have to do this throwing competition, and I'm okay with it. I haven't thrown in a while, but, it's like riding a bike. So we'll go out and spin it a little bit. But, yeah, he wanted some smoke on the golf course today. I definitely won that. I conceded that, but I definitely won that. It was his event. I wasn't trying to show him up his own event. You know what I mean? He hit a little baby draw around the tree about, 265. I blow it by him by about, 10, 15 yards, but I was not in the fairway. So I thought we were playing longest drive, but he claimed I was closest to the pin, which means he won.
Man,
so
you are a sore loser.
That's what you took out of that.
Yeah, dude.
I'm a sore loser?
I beat him, but
I did beat him.
But it was the wrong thing, and I didn't understand. Like,
I
beat you, dude.
It's not that I didn't understand it. He said, hey, let's do a long drive competition right now. I was like, okay.
Either way, it's fine.
It's fine. We took the L, but it's all right. We're going to bounce back.
That's
We're
right.
going to shake back. We're going to get him.
But no, shout out to Murray for this because
He did get a promotion.
he did.
Yeah.
He will be the color commentator for SEC primetime games on the SEC network this year, which the color commentator is what Gary Danielson does. It's what Kirk Herbstreit does. It's what Troy Aikman does. Those types of guys, not the play-by-play. So he'll be in the booth this year. That's exciting for him.
On primetime SEC network games.
Yeah, man.
So he'll have that normally kicks off at 7, right?
I think those are the 3
And
slots.
you know what? This beats the hell out of calling Bowling Green games last year like he was having to do.
Definitely.
So, and look, I watched a lot of ball, but I wasn't watching Thursday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night action. So he must have done a bang-up job.
Yeah, no disrespect to Mr.
No disrespect
Murray.
to Bowling Green.
Was not watching
None.
work last year, man.
No, I wasn't.
No offense. We had work of our own.
But ESPN executives must have been.
Yeah.
Because he went from Bro, he jumped, and I would imagine there's going to be more news to come out of this. But knowing the lineup and how it shook down last year, he jumped so many people to go into SEC Network primetime. So he must have done such a great job last year. And didn't he call a bunch of, is it AFL, UFL? What is the
USFL? I don't remember.
Whatever's playing.
I don't remember. Maybe.
You know, whatever's going on right now. He was calling those games with Mac, too, Eric McLean. So he's done an awesome job on these color jobs, and he just got a massive promotion. Stinchcomb had this job for a little bit, didn't he?
He did. I think Stinchcomb had this
what
job
I was trying to get at is
SEC
is this the first dog to get this high in color?
Ooh, that's a great question. Maybe. Other than Stinchcomb, maybe.
And I don't know if Stinchcomb ever called primetime SEC Network games. I thought Stinchcomb always came to town when Georgia was on SEC Network playing Tittawatta Tech.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. Oddly enough, you know who did? When I watched the Georgia-Arkansas 2020 game, you know who did color commentary for that one?
I have no earthly idea.
DJ Shockley.
Really?
He was in the booth for that game. Interesting. Just a fun tidbit. In case
Shock played behind me today. They beat us.
Yeah.
What?
You based off what you were telling me pre-show.
No need to talk.
That's what I'm saying.
No need.
Understandable.
Yeah. I pray to be in a scramble one day where it's like, don't worry, Brooks. We don't need you. You know, you're just here for vibes. That's the type of scramble golfer I need to be. Not ever should you be depending upon me. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Now, luckily, our group we were clutch today. You know, every once in a while, when you needed a big shot, you'd get one. But man, there's no point in talking about too much golf here today. But I'm gonna be better next year. There's no doubt about that.
That's all that matters.
Is Kublik sticking around?
I don't know.
It wasn't an announcement that he was going to be a sideline guy for them.
I did not see that. I just saw that Aaron Murray was going to begin calling color commentary games for the SEC primetime. So good for him. There's some other good news for a former Georgia or good inklings for a former Georgia quarterback.
What?
And we don't do NFL content here, but apparently Stetson Bennett, or the way it's been phrased, that Ty Simpson has been unable to get the inside track on becoming the Rams' backup quarterback, meaning that Stetson Bennett is just giving him hell.
I love the mailman more than anybody listening to this right now, I promise you, unless you're their family members of the mailman. I love Stetson more than anybody. But the rookie should not be able to beat out the 4-year guy in OTAs when he first got there, unless he was just handed it. You know what I mean?
Agree but disagree. If you're a first round draft
pick,
if you're a first round draft pick, you should be beating out the.
Also, was this an NFL rumors report?
Yeah, I mean it's there's multiple places and outlets that are reporting on. I mean, again, I don't even think they've reported the mini camp yet.
Yeah.
So like, take it with a grain of salt. Like if one of them has a good or bad NFL preseason game, it's going to be irrelevant. But right now, it's good news to hear that.
Oh, Stet's the king of preseason.
Stetson hasn't already been put on the shelf.
That boy Stet's the king of preseason.
He does. They did give him a lot of run last year. I don't know if that'll necessarily be the case this year. Maybe he'll get just 50-50 snaps, but
yeah.
But no, I mean, I think it is worth noting, just talking about what makes Stetson Bennett a great quarterback and what makes him a potential one-day starter for the Rams. I mean, before Ty Simpson was ever in the equation, he was kind of seen as the heir to the Matthew Stafford throne where, hey, we've got this really experienced Georgia Bulldog quarterback and national champion. Maybe we can build him up to be a starter one day. So I think that he's got a lot of traits that would make him a potential starter.
Kirby, I'm going to hold that comment because we need to keep talking about this. I think I hope one day he gets like a real shot.
Yeah.
To like fully grow and play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I just don't know if we're ever going to get it.
I mean, it would take
because every year it gets harder. Every year there's more and more first-round draft picks on teams.
Yeah, for sure.
You're just not going to get their burn. You know what I mean?
I mean, all it takes is you get one shot and you make the most of it, which has been the epitome of what his career has been. You did it in 2020. You did it in 2021. I mean, you haven't had the opportunity in the NFL, but I would assume that if he gets that shot, he would take advantage of it.
Fresh off back-to-back SEC titles, something that I don't think's ever happened in the school's history. This is our chat. Georgia better make the national championship game or the semifinals this year, or I'm going to be pissed.
I mean, valid.
Valid?
Yeah.
Okay. You think that's valid? You think it's valid to say, hey, if you don't make a national championship, it's a down season?
That's not what he said.
He said he's going to be pissed.
You can be pissed. I would be pissed if Georgia didn't win a national championship this season. I wouldn't say down year. I wouldn't say, that's a disappointment. I wouldn't say everything that happened 2 years ago doesn't matter.
When I see pissed, I think like, I'm done. Like I'm done with this. I'm pissed off. I'm done with this.
Well, pissed means like I'm
just upset.
I'm upset.
Okay.
That's
Upset's fine.
That's typically what pissed means. It doesn't mean I'm checking out.
Okay. No, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, there's. I think we or this network gets too comfortable like shaming fans for having emotions about things.
Oh boy.
Like you're allowed to be upset
Yeah.
about certain outcomes. You're allowed to be upset when people.
You're even allowed to be irrational.
Yeah, that's what being a college football fan's all about.
Correct.
Like, there's nothing wrong with being pissed if your team doesn't win the national championship. I'm not gonna say that Kirby Smart needs to be fired or that this staff is never gonna win us another national title or all those things. Like, a lot of Georgia fans do that, but being pissed, like,
Yeah.
I'll be pissed.
No, that's fair.
Hell, I was pissed when Georgia lost last year.
Yeah. I was too, because I enjoy covering them.
Yeah.
And going to games and seeing you guys and traveling to cover the Dogs. So I was a little upset last year too. So that's fair. I shouldn't say that. You're right. We do get a little bit too like, hey, shut up sometimes with fans. And I know we don't actually verbatim say that, but sometimes we get a little victim blaming.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having emotions. I think saying irrational and dumb things because of those emotions, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, winning 2 SEC championships does not justify, like, all right, whatever happens this year, I'm good. I don't care. I'm happy. I won't be emotional. Like, that's dumb. You know who's not going to be pissed if they don't win the national title this year? They'll be vindicated. Joe Klatt.
Oh.
Joe Klatt is not buying the Georgia Bulldogs this year.
Why?
I'll give you a guess as to why first. And before we do this, I know that Joe Klatt has a reputation of being a Big Ten guy, kind of never leaning into SEC teams. And this one is kind of similar to that. So why do you think Joe Klatt is not buying the Georgia Bulldogs in 2026?
It's got to be wide receiver play, Kirby.
It is exactly the reason.
Yeah.
And his quote is, "Who's catching the football for Georgia? I don't think you can win a national championship just dominating on defense. There's going to be a moment when you have to make a play." And it's not a wrong statement. Like, you can't just have a good defense to good defense your way to a national title. I would argue, though, the last 4 national champions have had dominating defenses, and they've been able to make plays when they needed to. Like, both of Georgia's national championships were won because wide receivers, who, by the way, weren't highly ranked, who weren't commodities coming into the season, made plays when you needed them to make plays. Ladd McConkey, A.D. Mitchell, for example, like guys like that where we don't have the star power coming into the season, but they made plays when you needed to. So it's a bit of an inaccurate statement coming from Joel Klatt, especially given that Ohio State, Michigan, and Indiana now have all won national championships with teams that were primarily defensive-led and were ran by not inexplosive, but more efficient offenses than anything.
You want to hear a fun fact?
I'd love to hear a fun fact.
Indiana could have scored 25 points per game last year and went undefeated.
Wow.
I'm going to read that back. Indiana, the national champion, could have scored 25 points per game last year and went undefeated. That means they did not allow more than 24 points in a single football game. It can be done. It can be done. In fact, I would argue that they were a defensive national title winner. Now, they were a complimentary football team. They were a high execution football team. They were really good on special teams. Their turnover margin was really, really high. They did all the right things, but that was a defensive national title. And we get so caught up in the idea that Hey, they had a Heisman Trophy winner on the offensive side of the football that played quarterback. So they must have been just an absolutely insane offense. And they were really good offensively last year, but they were really great on the defensive side of the football. That's what that looks like. I mean, yeah, they had multiple games where they scored 50 points, 50-plus points. But a lot of that was because the other team just got out-executed their brains out and just laid over.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm good. It's 35-3. I'm done. Y'all are beating our ass. We've conceded. And that ultimately led to 55-nothings quite a bit on that schedule last year.
And I also wouldn't say coming into the season, and even throughout the 2026 season, Indiana did not have bad wide receivers whatsoever. I know the Surratt kid was really, really good. I wouldn't call him like a dynamic, one-of-a-kind talent.
I think he was a fifth-round draft pick, wasn't he?
Yeah. They had good receivers.
Beckett's really good.
They had really good receivers. Dare I say great receivers. I wouldn't say there was ever a time when you took the field and you were like, I don't know how we're stopping this wide receiver unit today.
Yeah,
it's not like we got 2019 LSU or 2020 Bama or even an Ohio State at its peak running out there. Like, there's really good college wide receivers there.
I mean, Omar Cooper is really, really good. I think he had 100-plus yards once last year.
Right.
So I don't think he had a game in which he had more than 8 receptions against Power 4 opponents. So, yeah, that was a defensive team with some back shoulder merchants and some elite ball placement. There's no doubt about that. But how do you win a Heisman without throwing for 300 yards? You have a great defense. That's how you do that. I think this day and age of like, oh my God, we have to be able to score 50 points every day. No, you need to be able to score 46 when you have a bad day and the other team scores 45, which they did not do last year. But in 2024, they didn't lose because they weren't good enough offensively. They lost because, first-time starter for Gunner, but it was a special teams debacle that screwed them against Notre Dame.
Special teams debacle and your left tackle not having a shoulder.
That too.
I mean, those 2 plays cost you 14 points in a game you lost by 13 points.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and again, I don't know where this fascination with it. You got to be a high-flying, a high-scoring offense to win games. Like, at its best, yeah, when 2019 LSU or 2020 Alabama are rolling, or you have these fun offensive teams, yeah, that's fun to watch. That's exciting to watch. That's not what championships are built. Like, go down the line of the last 10 national title winners. It's never been really like, boy, their offense just kept willing them to a title. Yeah, the offense was elite at certain moments. The offense was able to score a lot of points, but it wasn't like they were just dangling on by defense. Like, I don't understand why defense has gone by the wayside when talking about these things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Georgia's going to lose a game this year or Georgia's going to miss out on a national title because they don't have elite wide receivers. Like, Georgia's never had elite wide receivers, and they've played in 3 national titles in the last decade.
I don't know. A.D. Mitchell and Ladd McConkey, and you have to add Brock into that equation. That's pretty elite. That's a really good receiving core.
From a talent standpoint,
that's 3x what they have right now on paper.
Sure. And from a talent standpoint, you're absolutely right. Like, and Brock Bowers is obviously a major kind of factor into that, kind of a exception. Go look at Ladd's stats from the 21 title game. I don't know if he recorded a reception. Like, Ladd McConkey did not have an impact in that game. Like, it was very like A.D. Mitchell obviously made big plays, but it was very much like Kearis Jackson's and Brock's and like guys like that making, like, George had a big play, but
yeah.
There was never been a moment where it's like Georgia's wide receivers won them the game today, other than maybe the Ohio State game, and that was also because Stetson Bennett played out of his mind.
Mm-hmm. Especially second half. And played absolutely unconscious. What else we got?
Well, if we want to talk about the Ohio State game and transition into that,
attaboy.
They've yet to do it.
They have yet to do it.
They've yet to do it. For those,
you think it happens?
Of course, it's going to happen.
You think they pull this?
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, it's kind of become something on people's radar right now with all of these teams that are canceling their home and homes or rescheduling them or moving them to neutral site affairs. People have noticed that the Georgia Bulldogs and Ohio State Buckeyes have yet to do this. It's a 2030 matchup or a 2030 home-and-home series that is yet to be unannounced, that has yet to be untouched. And that's kind of got people begging and fans kind of writing about how, man, maybe they're going to stick true to their guns. Ohio State's doing a Texas, just did a home-and-home with Texas. Maybe we get a home-and-home with Ohio State in 2030. And I'm here to tell you right now that this will absolutely become a neutral site game if it's not canceled at some point, simply because of the way that the schedule is already made.
Yeah.
The 9-game schedule, I don't think people realize how many teams are going to get their asses kicked by playing 9 SEC games this year.
Yeah.
Kirby Smart's going to have a beat-up roster at the end of the season, much more than he already has. You're going to get to mid-November and be like, my God, 8 people are injured because you're playing that many SEC teams, because you don't have the luxury of being like, hey, no offense, we're playing Charlotte today. We can maybe give some guys some rest that need it. So you're going to get there, and you're going to get to 2028, and teams are going to look around and go, I don't want to play Ohio State right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to travel to the Horseshoe right now. Make that a neutral site game. At the worst, they're going to make it a neutral site game. They might cancel it. I would not be surprised if they canceled it.
Hell, by 2030, they might be in a super league with each other.
That's a possibility as well. So, but no, I don't get your hopes up on seeing that hasn't been changed yet.
Who do you think bows out first?
It'll be a mutual decision.
You think so?
They'll come together. They'll talk. They'll say that we have the two parties have mutually decided that this game is not in our best interest. We'll see each other. We look forward to seeing each other, or they'll decide to make it a neutral site game. I would bank on neutral site game. I think that Georgia has benefited greatly financially from making these neutral site games. That's what's going to end up happening.
First of all, has Ohio State ever played a neutral site regular season game?
I'm sure they have. I don't, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you, but I'm sure they have. If you give me a second.
I only ask because where would you play up there? Would you play a Lucas Oil?
Maybe.
Where would be the neutral in Ohio that you would play at? Would you play at the Cincy Stadium?
Why would it have to be in Ohio?
Well, when you play a neutral site, if it's a home and home neutral, you know what I mean? Where it's like you play one in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium and then you give them a neutral somewhere up there. Or do you just both meet in Nashville like Florida State's doing?
I mean, so Ohio's, yeah.
You see what I'm getting at? If that's why I don't know if I don't know because I've never seen Ohio State play a neutral.
Oh, they played at one in Arlington in 2018 against TCU. I actually remember that.
Okay.
But again, like Oregon flew out to Atlanta, Georgia for a neutral site game.
Correct.
The geographical location does not matter in neutral
It's
site.
highest bidder.
Yeah, it's the matter of, these teams are close. This is a close location for us. Georgia and Florida State are about to go to Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
That is not closer to either of those teams. Like, if you want to do that, find somewhere in the middle. Nashville is out of the way for both of those teams. So geography is not any factor in these decisions whatsoever. It's money and who's going to give us the most of it.
Yeah, you can miss me on ever playing in Ireland.
That'd be
No,
cool.
you wouldn't. I know you got it on right now, but no, you wouldn't.
Why? Why do you say that?
Have you seen the records of teams coming back from those games?
Oh, I mean,
It's atrocious.
Probably not great. Have you seen the teams that play in those games though?
I'm well aware. But no, it's been bad.
It's
coming
not
back.
a lot of killers going out there, and
Hey, we got a couple of killers this year. TCU and UNC out there in Ireland.
that will not be the exciting matchup. Looking forward to seeing
The Horned Heels.
Yeah, those two teams won't be great this year. So I'm not thinking that, maybe the travel has something to do with it. It's a week 0 game, and they typically get the next week off, don't they? So
Yes.
I don't know from a
Yes.
rest standpoint, like you're going to be that far behind the power curve. I think it's more just they're sending bad teams out there.
That's fair. Yeah, they haven't sent a top 5 team out to Ireland yet.
No.
No, it's been a bunch of K-States and Iowa States.
I also don't think that Ireland is like bidding lots of money. Like, yeah, we'll fly y'all out. We'll give you a bunch of money. So
Google says OSU's last regular season neutral site game was 2014 against Navy. So it's been a minute.
yeah, I mean they still
Yeah.
do it. Like
I wasn't even conscious of college football at that point. I was playing it, and I just dipped out of all things college football.
understandable.
I have such a void and a lapse in knowledge from 2013 to 2017, apart from Miami football, because my roommate Bruce Clark used to make me watch them all, and that was bad Miami football.
Miami was not very good at that
That
time.
was really bad Miami football.
Until Mark Richt got
which
there in
made for
17.
really good watching experiences with my buddy because he's a lunatic. I mean, oh man, you talking about people watching. Watch my buddy Bruce Clark watch a Miami game. Oh my God, it is epic.
I don't know. I don't like watching people crash out in the game.
You don't?
Nah, like because
He tended to break a lot of my things in my dorms when he would do that.
Oh, see, I would hate that. That would not fly.
Yeah, he took out my AC unit one year with a kick. Shout out Shane Beamer. Just broke it in half.
Yeah, no, that cannot happen.
Yeah, it's good stuff though. Watching him the next morning on a Sunday morning, wake up after a shorter loss and a Miami loss, and see a bunch of Bud Ices laying around the floor, room temp, about half a dead soldier laying around. Just got to polish that one off at 8 a.m. before we go to meetings.
Yeah, I can also say I never had that.
What a time, you know?
I mean, there were definitely some fun evenings for me, but never woke up and was that disheveled. There was always a Sunday fun day happening though, so we're fine. What play do you think of when I tell you the name Stetson Bennett?
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot.
I think the best. Well, I got a couple of them. Like I think the better question to ask a guy like me is like, what's his best throw?
His best throw is against Florida in 2020.
Marcus Rosemi-Jack saying on the backside dig?
2022.
On the dig?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the best ball he ever threw in his life.
Yes.
Second, TCU, the bender from Brock Bowers. That ends up going for a touchdown. That ball's thrown like so perfectly. The Marcus Rosemi-Jack Saint play where he's rolling left and throws a dig back across the middle, and it is just an absolute dot.
The best throw, I think, it's not necessarily the best throw, but just how did he manage to get that off was in the final drive against Ohio State, where he sidearms it, and an Ohio State defender's coming around the back and comes like inches from knocking it loose. But the play where I think like it kind of solidified to me like, okay, this guy is a dude, was the Oregon game when he does the scramble around and ultimately finds Ladd in the end zone. Something like that where it was just like, oh, God, he's doing it again. He's getting erratic. And him just planting and finding like he's different.
The Auburn quarterback draw was kind of like that too.
But that was, yeah.
Whoa.
That was at the point in the season where I was like,
we knew.
If you weren't fully bought in
yeah.
at that point, you were so far behind the power curve of like, this is a dude. Believe in it. Like I was from that on from like Oregon. Like honestly I think the moment when I first was like, all right, Stetson Bennett can lead this team to a national championship was the Kentucky game in 2021. Because he was just so efficient with the football, and that's all you needed out of a quarterback. He became more explosive and more of a playmaker in 2022. But the reason I think that I bought in for me was because he was efficient with it, and that's what won it over for me. All right. One more. Who do you think of when I say the name Azeez Ojulari?
I think of his ability to convert run to pass better than any edge rusher that Georgia's had since I've been doing this. I think, didn't he have a year where he had 9.5 sacks and then followed it up with 7.5? Does that sound right?
Maybe.
So
I know he had a shortened season.
I bet he has a career 18 sacks in college. Look that up for me. I bet 10 of them came on play pass. I bet 10 of them came on they're running play action. I have to hold the line of scrimmage. Oh, they're passing the ball. Watch me get off this guy real quick and get home now. Azeez is probably the twitchiest rusher they've had in recent memory.
He had 14
since I've been doing this.
He had 14 career sacks, 5.5 in 2019, and then 8.5 in the shortened 2020 season.
Yeah, and it was all that to me. It was all the ability to be the twitchiest human on the field at that moment, and to get home now after realizing, okay, pass. Let's make a move. Let's get home. His ability to close space to me was elite. It's the Auburn game, though, that I remember.
I remember the 2020 Tennessee game where he forces that fumble, and I believe it's I don't remember who recovers it. Maybe it's him who returns it for the touchdown, but it was very funny watching Cade Mays chase after him on the touchdown run.
And this is going to sound weird. Is he the only great defensive player at Georgia to wear 13?
Michael
wore 13?
Yeah.
Are we sure about that? Why can't I see Michael Williams in a 13 jersey right now?
I don't know. What number was he then?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
Michael Williams wore 13.
All right, you're right.
Whole career.
I'm going to have to see that. Mentally right now, it looks so weird.
What other number would he wear then?
I don't know.
He definitely wore number 13.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he damn did. Yeah. All right, so, yeah. Michael was slightly better.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any other number 13s that were great on the Georgia
Normally,
defense.
I'm really good with the number and seeing the guy in it. But until I saw the Google image, it felt weird.
I mean, it is a weird number. Like, you would, 13 is not one you would, permanently, Stetson wearing 13.
Yeah.
It's one of those numbers where you think, I don't know if he'd wear that.
Damn, that's on me.
It's all right.
Chat's cooking me. It is football brain. I'm a little tired.
It's been a long weekend.
Excuses left or right from the guy. Cope Austin today. I think someone called me Brooks Copeston.
Brooks Copeston's a good nickname.
Brooks Copeston's a pretty good one.
I mean, back to the thing. I don't know if we're coping. It's there's reasons to be alarmed. There's also reasons to not panic and fear and throw your hands up and raise red flags.
You good?
I'm good.
I'm good too. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, and then we're going to take Thursday off, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, so we're back tomorrow. We're going to take Thursday off. People have been asking about maybe going back to GOAT film study, so maybe we come in and do that tomorrow as well. I don't know. We'll talk about it after the show. Appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Love you. Bye.